Okay.
Mhm.
Shall we begin?
Yes, let's go. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's do this. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Aisha. I am a host for W Coffee, and I am here to speak to everyone about what W Coffee is about exactly. So, W Coffee is a monthly virtual meetup for women in the games industry throughout Asia. We have a very simple format. We meet on the first Friday of every month for an hour over coffee. It is 100% volunteer and community driven. The women that you see on your screen right now are my fellow hosts, and they are wonderful and powerful women who host these meetups. And we take turns to moderate the sessions. We pick topics that are close to our hearts, topics that we feel are relevant and important and are affecting women in the games industry today. Okay. So our vision and mission is to be both a community and a professional network. On average, women represent only 15 to 30% of the workforce within the games industry. And often we are widely spread across different departments and roles. Being the only one in the room can be a bit challenging, and lacking role models doesn't help either. So we asked the question, why don't we look outside of our own companies and studios and build a bigger community for women in the games industry? We want W Coffee to be a source of confidence, strength, and belonging for the women in the games industry throughout the Asia Pacific region. To do this, we want this community to be reliable. By reliable, what we mean by that is it is safe and stable. We want to be authentic as possible, to show up as our most authentic selves. And we are also growth oriented, which means that we focus on growing our skills and finding practical solutions to the challenges that we face in our daily lives. When it comes to our positioning, we have three key approaches. Firstly, we are Asia focused. There are many game associations and networks based in North America and Europe that are more established and quite successful in their own right. However, we saw a need for a community rooted in this region where the industry is still growing and where we seek understanding and support from peers who share similar life experiences and cultural backgrounds as us. Also, within this region is where the career opportunities are more flowing. So that is why we chose to focus mostly on Asia, on the Asian region. Secondly, we are community driven, which means that we let our volunteer hosts and audiences decide on how to run each session. It doesn't require much experience and established influence to be a host. For example, I hosted my first W Coffee session only in my second run joining W Coffee. And the audience is always free to join or skip as their schedule and time permits. Participants walk away with inspiration and ideas to try out throughout their lives, and they are free to connect with each other who joined the session through LinkedIn. Last but not least, our last key approach is that we hope to be growth oriented. We may bond by challenges and negative experiences, but we bond deeper with the commitment to learn and improve together. That is why when women with more experience come in and collaborate, asking powerful questions and providing practical advices, we feel that we can build a stronger community together. Sometimes you can walk away with different advice and perspectives because everybody is lending their own personal experiences, which is the beauty of a community think tank. Okay. So far, we have conducted 16 sessions, yes, throughout the 16 months that have gone by since W Coffee was first introduced. And here on screen, you can see some of the snapshots of several W Coffee sessions where we presented and approached different topics. So each session has seen an audience of about a dozen people, about 12 people in each session. And after every session, we would post up a quick recap of what we learned in the session on the W Coffee LinkedIn page. That includes key learnings for the day and encourages our participants to connect with each other. It's a very simple formula and it's been very effective so far. My fellow host Dan will now talk about how W Coffee came about and her experiences in establishing W Coffee. So take it away, Dan.
Thank you, Aisha. Good to have you here and good to have you as one of our hosts. My name's Dan. I'm a people program manager with Riot Games. I founded W Coffee back in 2019. Today, I want to tell the story on how W Coffee come into place because the story itself is a textbook example on why community matters. So I signed up as a Women in Games ambassador shortly before COVID. Women in Games is an NGO based in the UK. They advocate for women in games and esports. And ambassadors are encouraged to host offline gatherings and make themselves available for advice and questions for women who are in the industry or who want to join the industry. I was excited, I was honored, but then we all know COVID hit. So COVID make it impossible to do a classic happy hour or social gathering, but that is not the only challenge. I simply had no idea how this worked because I Googled it. There's no job description for an ambassador. And then most importantly, I asked myself, like, why me? Why people should care about this thing that I do? But then I'm like, okay, my name is on the list, and I strongly believe that women should come together in the industry, so I have to try. So I sitting in a coffee shop I visit daily, and I have an inspiration. I want to do the gathering just like how I want to enjoy the coffee with friends. So I want it to be safe. I want it to be relaxing. I can come and go without obligations. We talk about things we care about, and we walk away with fresh idea, a smile on our face, and a good relationship. And since we cannot meet in person, let's bring it online. Actually, it gives us great flexibility because the distance is no more a restriction. So I didn't start a pilot group in this very smart way. I started in actually quite a dumb way. I literally went on LinkedIn from profile to look for women in games in Asia. I invite my coworker, invite them to join my session. And I also look at the women in games ambassador list just to see whoever that pops up and sit in Asia regularly. So perhaps behind every yes, there's uncountable of no's, but then I have to try. So I can never thankful enough for these women listed here because they answered to my invitation, asked for nothing to return, give me like tons of support at the early days of W Coffee. They're like, let me know anything you need. I will dial in, although my schedule is crazy, but I will be there. So they listen to our stories. They actually share their advice again and again. And I think without them, I wouldn't have continued. So also at the early days, we look into many researches about women representation in the industry and the challenge they face. And we know very clearly that we want to support them. But W Coffee wasn't quite a community because I was the only host. I'm not sure how many people will show up every time. I have no idea. And most importantly, the energy to do this all by myself. So very quickly, after 6 months, I got exhausted and I got cynical and I started doubting the value of this meetup. The monthly cadence, the logistic, uncertainty add up to all things causes my burnout. So I told Kathy, my manager back then, that I just cannot handle this anymore. And Kathy said that, why don't you invite the others to share the workload? I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if they actually have the time and they're willing to put in the time. But then me being myself, I said, just give it another try. I will close the shop after 10 sessions. So right before the 10th session, I was about to quit the project. And then Kahui here showed up, and so she showed up on the ambassador list, and then she happily accepted my invitation to try out the session. And very soon she took over the job of a host and host several sessions and give me a real break. I really appreciated that. So she brought in her rich experience and a firm message to all our audience that the things need to be improved for women as an industry, and they should have the confidence to come forward to contribute and be recognized. So, and then the W coffee just kind of takes off, drawn by one after another host, each add up to the diversity of the community. I got an award for this, and most importantly, that I built so many personal relationships with each of the women in the group, and I know better their experience and their needs. So before I hand the mic over to Kahui, I want to wrap up. Do not doubt yourself. When you doubt yourself, then tell yourself if it's not me, then who? And second of all, rely on the others, rely on community, ask for help. And W Coffee exists exactly for that reason.
Thank you, Dan. So thank you for inviting me to be one of the hosts. For me, I signed up as a Women in Games ambassador back in Q3 of last year. And I signed up because I was inspired by another two ladies, this Julie in Korea, who is a close friend, and then there is a close colleague and friend, Monica in Dublin, who are both ambassadors. So I was inspired by them when I signed up to be a host. And when Dan reached out to me, I was like, my God, it's amazing. She got something running, though it may be on a small scale, but she allowed me to, develop on the platform that she has built. And we started hosting the first session, I think was in January. And from then, she gave a lot of advice, a lot of support, a lot of encouragement. So I wouldn't be able to do it without her. So the fellow hosts that join one after another, now that we have 5 people around the table to share our stresses, our challenges, and someone to take over when we are really tired, we sat around and we discussed, what are the lessons that we have learned, what surprises me, and what we wish we knew. So as fellow hosts and also participants as well, this is what we have learned. Number one is about women empowerment, that we can make a difference not only for ourselves, but for others. And we bring with us the conversations about challenges faced by women, which could be a difficult topic to do it at work. But when you are in a safe space with a group of women from, diverse roles within the industry, sometimes they bring along with them different perspective or solutions or some experiences that would help. And more importantly, it's about getting that inspiration from women leaders and from role models. Role models not necessarily will be people that are more senior in the industry. For myself personally, one of the ladies that I was really impressed was an esports gamer, and she's still an undergrad. The thing was when I attended an event with her, she spoke so confidently at, I think, only 22 years old. And I asked myself, where was I when I was 22? I mean, she's so confident, and that really inspired me. At the same time, all of us could contribute to make a difference. We bring with us our experiences, be positive or negative, but we all know that keep the conversations going would bring about difference, or we can push certain actions forward. What surprises us was that the knowledge sharing and guidance, they are not compelled, not obligated to share, not obligated to help, but there are so many ladies around the table that were able to contribute. And there is that sense of community that we wanted to build, that on a Friday morning to turn up, it really takes effort, and it's pretty early. So that for us was important because that was our community. There is a network of support, which is important for ladies, especially. There is one session that we discussed about career path, about not getting enough support within their company. And one of the advice that was given is your network of support can come from external. It could be someone that could mentor you. It could be someone that has been there, done that, and could show you that it is possible. And there is always that positive vibe of encouragement that all the ladies would give to one another, especially when we go into smaller breakout rooms where we share our stories in depth. We were able to understand a bit more about where we come from at the same time offer some of our perspective. Well, a lot of us said, I wish we knew that this little community, be it is as Dan has mentioned just now, people could come when they are available to come. There is no obligation. We don't throw people off the mailing list because they didn't turn up for 3 sessions. So it is fulfilling and rewarding in a way, as in you're supposed to be comfortable. You're supposed to walk in. You could contribute or you could have takeaways. And it's relaxing and fun. We usually will bring our coffee, tea, bubble tea, whatever that is a healthy drink early on a Friday morning, and then we have fun discussing the topics that we set out to discuss that day. We form a lot of friendships. We do have, outside of the Friday sessions, some of us do happen to meet up outside because of certain events that is related to women in games. And some of us do connect online or talk to each other about common interests. So there's friendships that we build through the network. And for all the hosts, we wish we had known about this earlier, because we have come to Dan's rescue way earlier. So before I wrap up, you could join us. That's our website, and we are on LinkedIn. So if you search by W Coffee, you should be able to find us. Okay, so that's all from us. Yes, any questions? Cheryl, are you there? Oh, you're checking for questions?
Okay, yeah, I'm just letting you know we are checking for questions, but I think because it's pretty straightforward as well, and all the information is there. And we've also shared the link to your website as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty good to go, because somebody was saying thank you for sharing your stories, these amazing stories. And I don't think there's much question. It's more like thank you so much.
Okay.
It's really inspiring. It's really inspiring to see, and then you've suffered for a while. Now that you have the rest of the host to help you hold things up. That's
Yeah.
great. Yes. Okay. So after this, I've got a channel for you guys in our Discord channel. So maybe we can continue from there. And anybody who has any questions can ask you guys directly as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Thanks for having us.
with
Yeah,
that, thank you
see
so
you in the
much for
Discord.
sharing. Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Thank you.
If not, happy Friday. Bye.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Have a good weekend.